of hearts. When everyone folds, your fork still holds. Your plate.
I am so glad you are here today. I feel like this past week has been so hectic and chaotic, but with that, we got so much done. My parents are out of town, and I swear every time my parents are out of town, we do some sort of project at their house. I think it's because we spend so much time at their house when they're out of town that it's like, well, why not? Let's do something. So in today's video, I actually did a mini room makeover for them in their guest bedroom, and I'm super excited for them to get home and see it. They actually get home on Saturday evening. So just in time for Freya's birthday on Sunday, but it turned out so good. But this was 3 days of just cleaning and doing a mini makeover at their house and just so much. I also am very grateful that I have the friends I do down here, because I let one of them know that we were running low on clothes for Athena, because girl went through a major growth spurt where she was wearing like 6 to 9 month clothes still, and then like randomly overnight jumped to 12 to 18 month. Like she skipped the whole 9 to 12 and went straight 12 to 18, and she gave me a ton of clothes that she had gotten from someone else, and she had picked through the sizes that she needed for her daughters, and then she gave it to me so I could pick through it for the sizes that would work for Freya and Athena. And it's just kind of going around the group, so anyone that needs it can have it, and everything else gets donated. But it was definitely a huge help.
When I use my witchcraft, I've got my moves, I've got my song. When I turn my mojo on, I'm feeling fine, I'm feeling strong. It won't take long. When I use my witchcraft, when I use my witchcraft, watch me use my.
So, little update on selling the house. That is part of the reason this week has been so hectic and why I feel like I am cleaning nonstop. You can only imagine when you have 4 kids and animals and all this stuff, like there's always something to clean. And it's even worse when you have your house on the market, because you never know when a showing's gonna pop up. We actually had one tonight at 7:30, and I get it because people work, so they're trying to like come after work and everything. But we did have to let them know, we're like, yeah, they can do the showing, but we have to be back by 8 o'clock because that's our kids' routines. Athena was already asleep in the car because she normally goes down by 7:38. But keeping up with keeping the house spotless is like a 24/7 job lately. I'm constantly just finding like little projects here and there to get done. If it's deep cleaning a window or the stove or whatever it is, I'm just constantly finding those little deep cleaning projects. Great thing is it keeps me on top of my game. Like, you know me, I tell you this all the time. I am not a nighttime cleaner. Like after dinner, I am done. I am ready for bed. I want to put on my robe, go sit in bed, watch a movie or a show, and just relax. Like I will handle it all in the morning. I do not mind waking up and handling the house. But like today, because it was a 7:30 showing, it was like, okay, kids, you need to eat, and then we need to clean, and you need to get out, which in some ways, like I said, is great because I know I'm going to wake up tomorrow and the house is going to be spotless, which is always a really good feeling. I often feel like jealous of the girls that are so motivated to clean at night, because it does feel good to wake up to a clean house. I just know I'm just not that person. Let me know, when is your boost of energy? Like when do you get the most productive stuff done in your house? For me, it is definitely like that 10 o'clock in the afternoon till about 1, 2 o'clock. Those hours, I am the most productive. After 6, nope. I'm out. I'm done. I am so over it. But that like 10, once my caffeine has hit in for the day, to 2, I'm usually like go, go, go nonstop.
When we go to bed at night, we won't turn out the light until we made it right.
So, my routine in the morning during the school year is definitely just tidying everything up, including the kids' rooms. And I know this can be controversial of how I do this. A lot of people feel like parents shouldn't clean their kids' rooms, and I agree to a point. My kids are really good at keeping their rooms clean. They do have the responsibility. Oh, you can see Athena found me. She's been really clingy lately, so you're going to see her a lot in my videos because unless I am working when she is sleeping, she is constantly trying to find me. It makes getting things done a lot more difficult because trying to clean with a baby on your hip is a lot harder. I was quickly trying to get around her though so I could keep moving, and then I had Bobby grab her. That way I could just keep working. Okay, back to the kids' rooms. So, my kids do have a responsibility of keeping their rooms clean, making sure that garbage is picked up, dishes are out. But I am a lot more lax during the school year because I feel like it's very important for the kids to get as much sleep as possible. I don't worry about them stressing and getting up and making their bed perfectly in the morning and making sure everything is good. So I will go around the house and just make sure their beds are made and everything. Honestly, during the school year, this just makes me feel good too because I know their rooms are going to stay clean while I am home because they're at school. They're not home to mess it up, but I never feel bad about going in their room and cleaning it up. I always think back to when I was a kid and how overwhelming keeping my room clean felt and how much I appreciated those times where my mom might have stepped in and helped me out. So I like doing that during the school year. Now, during the summer, it is a whole different scenario. I go in their rooms maybe once a week to do a good thorough cleaning of it, make sure it's vacuumed well, mopped well, dusted well, wash their bedding, stuff like that. But otherwise, during the summer, it is their responsibility to keep up with their own rooms. And that also goes for Freya. Now, one little caveat for that is, as you guys can see, all the kids just got a room swap, which, by the way, they are loving. I woke up the other day to these giggles and everything coming out of the girls' room, and it was probably about 6:30 in the morning, and it was Athena and Freya playing, and it was so cute. But Freya, as long as she keeps her room semi-clean, I know Athena makes most of the mess, so I do go in there more often and clean up. But like I said earlier, I've been just kind of going around and trying to get these different deep cleaning. These sliding glass doors have, it's probably not that bad of a buildup, but it bothers me. So I bought the Quad Zero. It's got to be the 4-0 steel wool, and I wanted to try and clean the windows with that. It's very, very important that you get the correct steel wool, otherwise you can scratch your glass. And I went to town on this window. This window is the worst, and I think it's just from kickoff from rain and everything. Even though it's under an overhang, this is the closest to where that overhang isn't. Yeah, I did this one window and gave up. It was still there. The watermarks were still there. So if you have the magic trick of getting rid of stuff, usually I'm pretty good. I could not get rid of this. Currently outside my parents' house right now. We're over here today for a open house, but also I want to do just a mini upgrade in their guest bedroom, and I figured while I'm here, I'll do some cleaning and tidying around their house since we'll be here for a couple of hours. But I'm super excited because their guest bedroom, which it's a guest bedroom, but it's also where my dad will sleep. He has severe sleep apnea, so there's times that if he goes to bed and my mom's already asleep and he's already realizing he's going to be tossing and turning, he'll sleep in this room. Or vice versa, if my dad's tossing and turning and my mom can't sleep, she'll go sleep in this room. But also when family comes to visit, when my grandma comes down, my siblings, anything like that. But they don't have a real bed frame in here. So I have been on the lookout for something that would be sturdy. It would be very sleek. They have a nice, calming, like coastal feel in that room, but also something that is affordable to put in there. I ended up choosing the Flexi Spot Japanese Journey. You guys know how much I love Flexi Spot. We have had their chairs and stuff, so I know they're good quality. I know they're comfortable, and I know their style is really, really nice. First thing that I noticed was how heavy this is. It is made out of quality real rubber wood, so it's quality but also super affordable, which Flexi Spot is known for. But then also the stability. It's got interlocking legs, so you don't have the creaking and cracking like older modeled bed frames usually would have. And the slats go on with Velcro, which is great, so they're not moving around and shaking and all those things. But I also wanted something that would be easy to put together with having an adjustable base. And this made it so simple to put it together, not have to like completely take apart the whole like bed frame and everything. Because if you have an adjustable base, you know those things are heavy. I love that the legs are inset, so you can push this flush up against the wall. It's not going to knock into your baseboards or anything, so you can actually have that flush look, which you can't get with most beds. It also has so many different options between headboard and nightstands, an electric adjustable backrest, and a washable pillow back for it, which we did end up going with. I love upholstered beds, and this I think just gives a beautiful modern look to the bed. If you didn't notice, my parents like to store things underneath this bed, so I love that it had plenty of clearance. So if you're storing stuff under there, you've got that 10.2 clearance space to be able to still use the space for storage. It doesn't sit too low on the floor. Flexi Spot is truly one of my absolute favorite furniture brands. I love them not only for sponsoring today's video, but they also always offer you guys an exclusive discount. So in my description box below, I will have that link as well as my exclusive code. So make sure to check it out for yourself if you are in the market for a beautiful, reliable, and cost-effective bed. As you can see, this room isn't bad. My mom has made updates throughout the years. I actually tease her on a regular basis because before we moved down here, there was really nothing special about this room. It didn't even have a TV or anything in it, and we used to visit every single year. Like, coming down here to visit was our vacation. Kind of like now where we go up to Wisconsin for our vacations to visit family up there. We did the same thing when we lived in Wisconsin. And now this room is so nice. When either my grandmother comes down or my siblings come down, they have this room. But as you can see, they've had a really hard time with the bed frame. So that's why I knew I wanted to get them a nice looking bed frame for this room. But obviously I didn't want to spend a lot of money. I opened the doors to their other rooms though, because we had been coming, and usually my parents have two cats. They have Spooky, who that cat is a scaredy cat, and almost never comes out. And I'm used to that. I'm used to her not coming out. We know she's around because her food goes missing. But the other cat is Thistle, and Thistle usually always comes out, starts meowing at us when we come over with food. And she had not come out the first couple of days we would come over. So I'm like, did they by chance lock themselves in the bedrooms, even though they're not supposed to go in there when my parents are gone, because they're sassy little stinkers and they get mad and decide to go potty on their bedspread? So I opened those doors to see, and then I called my mom. My mom's like, well, is there food getting eaten while you're gone? I'm like, yes. I'm like, oh, obviously they're not locked in the bedrooms if the food's getting eaten. They're just being stinkers and not coming out. But yeah, I was nervous they were locked in there. But this bed frame worked perfectly. Like I said, adjustable bases are so dang heavy that I knew I didn't want anything where I had to deal with that. We did put the wrong legs on when we first did it, so we had to move it around. But knowing that I didn't have to deal with any screws or hardware or anything, it was just a lock into place bed. It was definitely a dream to be able to put this together and made it so simple and so easy. For me, the fun part though is always like bringing it all together. You guys know I love a beautifully made bed. I get teased on a regular basis about the pillows on my bed and the way I make my bed because it's too much work. But to me, a beautifully made bed, your room can have areas that is a mess, but if your bed is made beautifully, it just makes all the difference in the world. I also feel like it gives me the encouragement to want the rest of my room to look really nice if my bed looks really nice. So this is always my favorite part, is bringing it all together and just making the bed look really, really pretty. That way when they got home from their trip, it would be nicely put together. I would love to know, is your parents like hard to shop for? My parents are horrible to shop for, and actually Bobby's parents too. I feel like as you get older, it gets so much harder because we all have our own money. So like if we want something, we just go and buy it. So I love doing projects like this because then if I don't buy them something for their birthday, I don't feel bad. They got a new bed, a nice mini makeover, or Bobby did some yard work at their house, stuff like that. And I feel like acts of service is a great way to do stuff for your parents or grandparents or anything like that when you have people that are like the worst to shop for. Like I said, my parents, the worst to shop for. They don't really need anything, don't really want anything. There are times that I know if I see something, I'm like, oh, mom would love this. Like my mom loves fairies and mermaids. They're like her favorite things. And there's been times where I see something, I'm like, oh, this is perfect. And also for my dad, where I'll see something that's motorcycle related or firefighter related. I'm like, okay, this would be perfect for dad. And I'll grab it. But for the most part, it's usually just buying stuff to buy stuff. And you guys know me, I am all again, like for de-influencing buying stuff when you don't need it just to buy. I don't mind if you need something or you really want something, but that just like endless buying with birthdays and holidays and all of that, I am not for it. So being able to come here and do this, like I said, it was an open house. We had a couple hours to kill anyway, and it's just a great way to kind of just thank them for everything they've done over the years and keep their house looking nice for them as well.
Let me know, do you feel me too? Let it show, 'cause babe, I'm into you.
I will say though, when I pulled out my mom's vacuum, it made me wish I had brought mine because this thing was not the greatest. It worked fine, but I'm so used to those really nice, like smooth, self-propelled vacuums that I had to get used to this. Plus, it had a cord. That is first world problems there. Like, I realize that is not a big deal, but I knew I wanted to at least give it a quick vacuum and everything, especially since we had all the dogs with us. We have been keeping their 2 dogs at our house just because it's easier. It allows them just to be out and about and playing with the kids and everything. When it comes to the cats don't care. The cats can stay at their house. We go over there a couple times a day just to make sure the cats have food, the birds have food, everyone has water, but then the dogs stay with us. But when we come over here, we bring the dogs and they're just running around being crazy. The kids also use this room on a regular basis. For Sunday dinners, we when we're at our parents', usually this is where the boys will come and just like relax and chill out. But how beautiful are these afters? I love the way upholstered headboards look. And I actually have a friend, and you guys probably know her, but Jessie from Jessie at Home, which it's not Jessie at Home anymore, but I can't get that out of my head. It's because that's who she was for the longest time till there was like some drama that happened, but I'm not going to go into that. But we were just talking the other day on Marco Polo, and she just got an upholstered bed. And she's like, the only issue is the sides. I'm like, yes. When we were in Wisconsin and we had a fully upholstered bed, I agree that I don't like fully upholstered when you have animals. They just get dirty. They get full of fur. But this type where you have the wooden sides and just the upholstered headboard is so much easier, and it still gives that really high-end, elegant look. I'm obsessed with the way this room looks. I think everything from their kind of coastal decor that they have going on in here, the light curtains, and just everything pulled together beautifully. And this bed just finished it. With this room just having a headboard and not an actual frame, it kind of still felt like something was missing. And I definitely feel like this fixed that whole feel in the room. But moving back to our house, I decided that I was going to try and fix up the stove. So our stove is pretty good, but this bottom section of the stove had some watermarks on it. So I decided I would go in with that steel wool again on the bottom. Steel wool is great for your stainless. The one thing you do want to keep in mind though is always go with the grain when you are using it. So I'm just going with the grain. I have some of the spray Barkeeper's Friend, and this stuff works so well. I also always tell you guys, when you clean your stainless, please do not use a stainless steel cleaner and polisher. I feel like that never fully cleans your stainless steel. I always go in with a multi-purpose spray or even a degreaser depending on how dirty it is. And after the fact, I will then go in with the polisher. It makes the biggest difference in the world. And always spray the polisher onto a cloth and not directly onto the appliance, or just very little bit onto the appliance. It makes it so much easier to buff it in there and everything. I love the look though of freshly cleaned stainless steel with a little bit of polish on it, because it is always so shiny and so pretty.
If you believe in love, how will I feel it? If you believe in me, how will you let me in? If you are ready, how do I reach you? I'm thinking about us, you're thinking about it too. Higher and higher, I'm gonna raise the flag. Fire on fire, send out a flare to find. Give me a reason.
Now, another thing to keep in mind when it comes to stainless, if you do not have a stainless steel polish, don't feel like you have to have a specific product for your stainless steel for your polish. If you have any type of shine type cleaner, if it's a little bit of baby oil, a little bit of essential oils, you just put a little bit of that onto the cloth and you're going to get that same shine and effect off of it. I, for the longest time, used to always use baby oil on my appliances. Biggest thing, like I said, is making sure not to use too much. That is the biggest time you're going to see issue, but just a little bit goes a long way to get a really pretty finish. I have even been known to use Orange Glow on my appliances. It smells amazing and it always makes it look so good. And actually, I feel like there are times that it actually lasts longer when I do it this way. Now, I will say I try And my goal is to wipe down my appliances, at least just with a multi-purpose spray, every single day. Between the in and outs of people on everything, they get dirty quickly. My kids are fairly independent. Like, the boys get home from school, they'll make themselves a pizza or mac and cheese or whatever they know how to make. So they're in the fridge, they're using the stove, they're in the dishwasher. So needless to say, it needs to be dealt with on a regular basis. But I noticed that using baby oil or any of those things also work really, really well. I actually think on this day I did use Orange Glow. So if you're wondering what Orange Glow looks like on appliances, I'm pretty sure that's what I used because I was using it in other places of the house. So I just had it next to me and ended up using it, and it just always gives a really pretty finish. Also, don't forget to go in and scrub those knobs. Those things probably get the dirtiest of all of your stove, other than like on the inside. That might get dirtier. But you got to think how many times a day that we are touching those and messing with them. They get really, really dirty. So make sure to get in there and give those a really good clean as well.
I get dressed up to go downtown. I'm all messed up on a Friday night. Not really here for a good time, but if you're up for drinks and a good crowd, raise your glass to the sky. Let's toast to that. All these people can stare. I don't care about that. This is my pity party. I'm gonna cry all night and
So, are your kids back in school? If they are, how are you doing? I feel like we are just getting done with week 2 of school. And it always takes us about 2 weeks to get back into the swing of things. I will say I'm still very much getting used to having a fairly quiet house. Freya is a talker. Like, she talks non-stop. I always feel bad if people like see us out in public. Sometimes it looks like I'm ignoring her, and I swear I am not. I just have learned to kind of tune out sometimes because she's like nonstop talking. And if she's not talking to you, she's talking to herself and singing and playing. She is very, very much an extrovert girl and super chatty. But now that she is in kindergarten, which I don't know how she's in kindergarten, I feel like I just had her. But I say that, and Athena's coming up on her first birthday. How insane is that? That Athena is going to be 1 year old in less than a month, in a couple weeks. What is today? The 22nd? And she turns 1 on the 8th, September 8th. So couple weeks, she's going to be 1 year old already. But all that to be said, I feel like it takes 2 weeks and we just get back into the routine finally. And it feels so good to be getting back into the routine because I always kind of like am exhausted that first week. The second week I start getting my energy back. It's like a mental exhaustion for it. So yeah, how is your school year going so far? So far, all our kids seem to be very, very happy. Obviously, no one wants to go back to school, at least in our house. Frey was the only one excited to start the school year, but Bjorn really likes his teacher this year, and I really like him. I feel like he's a really good fit for Bjorn, and as parents, you know how nice that is when you have teacher that's like, okay, I feel like this is like the perfect teacher for my kid, because teachers do better with some kids than others. They just have that like personality and fit for them. And I feel like Bjorn has a really good teacher this year. I talked to Xander, asked him what his favorite class is. No shock, he said math. He's taking, what is it? Advanced Algebra, something like that. Advanced Algebra 1, I think that's what he's taking. He's in all AP advanced classes. So needless to say, I am not helping him with homework because I don't understand half of the stuff he's doing right now. He understands it a whole lot better than I am, but he's loving his math class. He's gotten into the symphonic band in his school. So he's been doing that and taking Spanish 1. So those are the ones that he's been like really excited for. And then Freya, of course, loving school, making tons of friends and learning all the things. I will say though, it kind of broke my heart today. She had her first ever lockdown drill, and I understand the reason for lockdown drills. I'm glad they have them. But it's also, as a parent, always one of those things that it like breaks your heart, because it's like, I hate the fact that our kids, like, they have fire drills, they have tornado drills, and then they have lockdown drills. Like, what in the world? Our kids shouldn't have to go through that. Like I said, I'm grateful they have them to make sure they're safe and everything, but it does always just kind of break my heart that it's even a necessity nowadays. As you can see, though, these were the clothes I was talking about earlier. So much to go through, and these sizes were all over the place and not very organized. So I was just going through every little piece, checking the sizes. I got a couple things for Freya, but mainly, like I said earlier, I was looking for stuff for Athena. Anything that was like 12 months to 2 years, I was grabbing and putting aside for her.
Went for a walk with the stars last night. Did not believe that I would end up right. Lucky endings were not something for me. I drove around all across the land. Thought that I was caught in a one-man band. But playing all those sad and lonely songs. My faith was lost, my hope was gone. My dreams.
As you can see, my little supervisor was around me the whole time, making sure I was doing my job. I say Athena has become clingy. Minnie is clingy. Minnie is always by my side. Actually, I am literally doing this voiceover with her in my lap right now, because if I am sitting down, she has to be snuggling. It's actually really funny, because if I am holding Athena, or if I'm like sitting on the floor and Athena crawls up to me and climbs up onto my lap, Minnie will rush over and climb up and stand on me like Athena's standing on me with her nose in my neck. I'm like, girl, you are not a baby also, but that puppy thinks she is. She thinks she is a puppy and I am her mama, and she deserves just as much attention as the rest of the kids. But once I got through all the clothes, I had the boys help me bring the bags back to my car. That way they could be passed on. And then I went through and, I did grab, there were 2 bags of a bunch of bows, which I thought were perfect for Freya with starting school, but then also Athena when she'll keep them in. I have a lot of people tell me I need to cut Athena's hair, so I'm not cutting Athena's bangs. And the reason I'm not, I realize they're long right now, and I try to keep her hair either pulled back or in a clip, but the girl pulls it out, is I'm trying to get it to grow past that awkward phase of being in her eyes. You can see here where I had a bow in her hair. I think that lasted a total of 30 minutes before she yanked it out. But I'm trying to get it past that awkward phase, and I know if I cut it, then you have to go through that awkward phase again of it growing out. So we're trying to just keep it clipped, keep it bowed, something out of her face to get it past that awkward phase. But yeah, I threw all of that in the wash and then moved on to the girls' room. As you can see, it is a hot mess. This is all Athena's doing. She loves playing in her room with all of her things. Oh, she was not happy there. She knocked her head when she fell backward. She didn't hurt herself too bad, but she definitely was not very thrilled at that. But you can see when I am on the floor, she just wants me to hold her, so I have to move quickly while she is distracted. Usually the best thing to keep her distracted is either a bottle or Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. She pretty much won't watch anything else. Mickey Mouse is her favorite thing in the world. Well, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Like always, don't forget to like, comment, and if you're new here, I would love if you would subscribe. We do these cleaning, makeover, decorating videos twice a week, once at my house and once I have a helping hand series where I go to a Mama's in Need house and help her out in her home. Actually, the one you guys are going to see Tuesday is going to be so good. I was at this mama's house today and we worked on her kitchen. The same mom as I was at in our last one where I did the front hall. Her kitchen was in desperate need of a really good decluttering and cleaning, and you guys are going to love it. But I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.